Good morning. Welcome to the woods. This morning we're over in Lapeer County, Marathon Township, probably 2 miles east of the village of Otter Lake. I'm going to do a little exploring on a 10-acre listing that I have over here on Otter Lake Road. Rough address of 5115, I believe. Otter Lake Road, Otter Lake. Very well set up for building. You're looking for a place to put a house. It's a main paved road, natural gas and power at the road, driveways in, and there's a trail system coming all the way back in here into the property. So we'll do a little exploring and explain a little bit and meet you back at the truck. Right now we're a third of the way into the property along the eastern edge. There's a big rolling field out in here with pines and oaks and popples and lots of undulations in the ground out here, so looks like it'd be a pretty good place for food plots and tower stands and all that sort of stuff in here, or if you're out here to build, pretty good place for walkout basement type stuff right here on top of this little knob. We'll get a look of this and we'll move some more to the south. Alright, made our way back to one of the 2 box blinds back here. This one's in really nice shape. We'll pan over here so you can get a look at that. This blind's in really nice shape. Plastic outside blind up on a little bit of a tower stand. Be a little tight probably for 2 people in there, but certainly good room for one, crossbow or gun, either one. Nice look out over this field and in and amongst these small oak that are been planted by somebody. It looks like, I don't know, 20-25 years ago. They're all white oak in here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but straight ahead of us to the right of that biggest bare tree out there tucked into them spruce, there's another box blind right in there. That one's going to need a little TLC on the roof, but it also is in a really good place to look out over that field. We'll pan around here and a little bit of a look to the west. These are all the oaks that were planted out here. Again, I'm going to guess from their size 25 years or so ago. And to the south, some yellow pine mixed in with us. And we'll continue on around, looking back to the southeast here. And straight to the east, there is a little trail that winds around all back through here, all the way from the front of the property. So you can get around here pretty quick, especially on an ATV or in your truck. Alright, we've made it over to the west. Now we're headed to the west side of the property. We're nearing the southwest corner here. There's a pretty decent drop in here. We're standing up on the ridge where those pines and oaks are, looking down into some, look like maples and popples. The seller tells me this is a pretty good turkey spot right in here in this little opening. Well, these are the woods that are at the back of the property. There's pretty young woods in here. I'd guess these are maybe 25-30 years old at the most back in here too. And you can probably hear the little background noise over there, right through there. There's a neighbor's house over there. I think the gentleman's out there doing a little power washing, cleaning the spring mud off the truck. And here we are, back up into these pines up here on this ridge. And we'll swing around to look to the north now. This path, this particular one, turns around from the south, takes off to the north, and goes back up toward that box blind that we were at just a minute or so ago. And we'll make our way downhill and go see what we can find down here. I do see a tree stand in that biggest tree in front of us, so we'll go check that out. Okay, made it down to the bottom of that little ridge there. Right in there, and by golly, there is a tree stand stuck in this maple here. Half a dozen different deer runs coming out right here, so probably a pretty good location. The sellers planted quite a few white pines and varieties of spruce in here. So if you see some that are 10-15 feet tall, that's trees that he's planted back in here. And we're looking pretty much dead west here. You'll see a fence post over there behind those spruce. That's the west property line over there. And then there's some poppy looking stuff, brush here and straight north of us. I'm gonna guess you probably see a woodcock and a grouse every once in a while in there, not to mention the deer would use that for bedding. And then back up the ridge to those pines where we just came from. We have made it to the west property line here, looking straight south now. Neighbor's got a nice big rolling field over there. Sure plenty of deer come in out of that one. And we'll swing back around, look to the east, back where we came down that path a couple minutes ago, and slowly make a look to the north, and we'll make our way up through these thickets toward the front of the property. Found a little bit of a opening over here in the thicker brush. Got some big sumac in here. Again, some maples and some other softwood that I'm not entirely sure what they are. Heck of a deer runway right up through here, heading to the north, going up this ridge. We'll go see where that goes. Had to stop for a second here and get a look at this tree stand and where he's got it set up. It's a grove of pines here, and right here, tough to see it, but right here's a wild apple tree. This guy's got quite a setup. A runway going right underneath our feet here. Lots of droppings in that runway, so it's one that they're definitely using. Well, that's over to the western edge of the property and then over into the neighbor's field. Undoubtedly, the deer come across that field, probably lickety-split, to get into this brush and then slow down. So it's got that stand pretty good spot. I'm gonna swing around here to look to the north so you can see the little knob that we're headed toward, going up this runway and into that, probably into that grove of pines there. Right, up on top of the little knob that we saw from the stand down there. That's quite a view from up here. And again, well liked by the deer. 3-4 big runways coming through here. A lot of droppings. No doubt the deer lay on this hillside, absorb that nice warm sunshine in the winter. And again, a lot of contour changes in this property. It'll be another one of those pieces, though. It's 10 acres, but it'll feel bigger than that just because of the roll of the ground. Well, they're tough to see right now. It's certainly not the first ones I've seen today, but it's like 3 different scrapes here underneath this autumn olive bush. Obviously from last fall, but good spot. Runway coming up in here on top of this ridge. 2 or 3 wild apple trees in here for feed. Elevation changes, some soft grass to lay in. Liking this spot. All right, when we were back there by that blind, we were back toward the southeast corner, looking out into this same open rolly field. Now we're on the opposite end, over to the northwest part of this. Again, on another little hill over here. You can probably catch that shiny blind top over there. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 apple trees that I can see from here. And then it drops off this ridge to the west into a thicket with some yellow pine. Again, undoubtedly a nice bedding area in rough weather. And we're swinging around to the north. A little brushier out this way. We're going to make our way down through that brush. I don't think it goes very far through that brush, and it should open up again. Here's a pretty cool spot in here. Seller tells me, tree stand over there in that tree. This low spot in here, seller tells me that previous owner before him wanted a pond in here and had a guy come in to dig for the pond. He just kept digging and digging and digging and finding lots and lots of sand, but never did get the water to show up. So there's a low spot here that I'm sure the deer and the rabbits enjoying that brush down in that low spot out of sight. That probably explains why that tree stands over there. Okay, made it back to the front of the property. There are, I'll move out here so you can see, there is a house over here off the east property line. There's also up front up here. This is the opening that's first opening in from the drive off the main road. There's also a house which you're not going to see because it's through these trees, but there is a house on the west side of this piece. So it's not like you're out in the middle of nowhere somewhere up north, but for Thumb area, Michigan, pretty normal stuff. Yellow pine, spruce, some softwoods up in here. Again, we're probably, this goes up 30-40 feet from the opening behind me. Probably a pretty decent spot for a house right here. Again, seller tells me mostly sandy soils, so it should be good drainage. And it looks that way to me out here too. I haven't seen any sign of like heavy clay or anything like that. So, but again, we are on 10-acre piece, 5115 Otter Lake Road, Otter Lake. That's a approximate address. Property doesn't really have one, but that'll get you close enough to see my real estate sign in the driveway. Any questions? Give me a call. Definitely love to bring you out here and show you around. Also information on the website, aerial, lots of pictures, that sort of stuff. Phone number on my end, 810-597-1327. Thanks for coming along.